25 is the square of 25 times 25. Another way of doing it is this way. 25 squared, change the 2 to a 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 5 is 25. 625 is the answer. Now let's do some more. Let's do 35 times 35. 5 times 5 is 25. 3 times 4 is 12. Remember, we changed this 3 to a 4 by adding 1 to it. 45 times 45, or 45 squared. Remember, we changed this 4 to a 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 5 is 20. 45 times 45 is 2025. Let's do 55 times 55. 5 times 5 is 25. We add a 1 to this 5, which makes it 6. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 and 25, 3025 is the square of 55. 65 square, or 65 times 65. 5 times 5 is 25. We added 1 to the 6, which made it 7. 6 times 7 is 42. The square of 65 times 65 is 4,225. That's the quick way of doing numbers that end in 5. Now, let's go and square some other numbers. Now we're going to square numbers that don't end in 25. Say, well, if I would ask you what is 94 times 94? These are numbers less than 100. How do we do that? The first step, we find out what do you have to add to 94 to make it 100. We have to add 6 to 94 to make it 100. Second step, we have the 6 now. The second step, we have the 94. Now we subtract the 6 from 94 and we get 88. The third step is to square that 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Now we have the 88 and the 36. So, 94 square, or 94 times 94, is 8,836. Let's do it again. What is the square of 94? Or 94 times 94? We find out what you have to add to 94 to make it 100, which is 6. Then we take the 6 and subtract it from 94, and we get 88. Then we square the 6 and we get 36. We add that to the end, so we have 88 and 36. 94 times 94 is 8,836. That's how we did it. Now let's do 89. 89 square. What is 89 times 89? What is the difference between 89 and 100? It's 11. We bring down 89, subtract 11 from 89, we get 78. What is the square of 11? It's 120. How we did that is 10 times 11 is 110. 1 times 11 is 121. I'll show you that some more later. So we found out the difference between 89 and 100. We said that was 11. So we subtract the 11 from 89 and got 78. Then we squared the 11 and got 121. So we add the 121 to the 78, we get 7,921. What is the square of 89? 7,921. That's for numbers less than 100. Now we're going to go to numbers over 100. First step. What is the square of 108? The first thing we do is square the 8, which is 64. Since we're doing numbers over 100, we add the 8 to the 8 and we get 16. The square of 8 is 64. So now we have 16 plus 64. We got 1,664 because we brought that 64 down. Now, the step 3 is, what is the square of 108? We have the 1, and we bring down the 1. And that gives us 11,664. I'm going to do it again. What is the square of 108? First, we square the 8. We get 64. Then we add the 8 to 108, and we get 16. We have 16, and we bring this 64 right there. Now, to get the last digit, we bring down the 1. So now we got 11664. That's the square of 108. These are numbers over 100, mind you. What is the square of 110? What is 110 times 110? That's the question. We take the 10, we square the 10 and get 100. Right? That's our first step. The second step is we add the 10 to the 110. We get 20. We bring down the 100. We add it to the 20. We get 2,100. Our third step is we bring down the 1. The square of 110 is 12,100. That's how you square numbers over 100. Square numbers under 100, square numbers over 100. Take your time and look at it so you can get it, because next you have to do the problems. Remember what we did up here for numbers less than 100. We found out the difference, what you have to add to 94 to make 6. Because we're trying to square 94. What you have to add to 94 to make 100 is 6. Then we subtract the 6 from 94, which gave us 88. Then we took the same 6 here and squared it. 6 squares 36, so we have 88. We bring down to 36. That is the square of 94. That's for numbers under 100. Numbers over 100, we had 108. What's the square of 108? What is 108 times 108? 8 squared is 64. That's the first step. We squared that 8. We got 64. The second step is we added the 8 to 108. We got 16. We brought down the 64. Third step, we brought down this first digit right here. So now we have 11,664 is the square of 108. Just thought that we'd go over both of them, and I'm going to let you see some of the problems you can work using this method. These are the problems. Look at them, and you can copy them down and work them. Using the same system. Remember, you subtract when the number's less than 100, and you add for numbers over 100. That's what's important to remember in these two steps. Those are some problems you can work on your own using this quick and easy method. Now we're going to get into complementary multiplication. Complementary multiplication. We're multiplying now, but we're not going to use the old method now. We're going to still use a different way to do things. This is for 99, numbers that are 99 or less. Step 1, you find out how far is the 97 from 103. Because this is our problem here. We multiply 95 times 97. This is the problem, 95 times 97. The easy way. The top number is 97. You find out how far 97 is from 100. You say that's 3. Then you find out how far 95 is from 100. That's 5. Second step. Here's the 3. Here's the 5. Because 97, you add 3 to it, you get 100. Because we want to find out how far 97 is from 100. 95, we add a 5 to it, you get 100. That's how far 95 is from 100. So we had the 3 and the 5. 5 times 3 is 15. That gives us our first number. Remember? Now we're going to the third step. in which case you subtract. And look the way these arrows are going. This arrow is going to the 5, this arrow is going to the 7. So we cross subtracting. 3 from 5, 5 from 7, that's cross subtracting. 3 from 5, 3 from 95 is 92. Because we're cross subtracting. Now we're going 5 from 97. 5 from 97 gives you 92. See? We have 92 and 92, so that gives us the 92. Step 4. Bring down the 92. We have 92 and 15. The answer is 9,215. Let's go over it again. Complementary multiplication is what we're doing for numbers that are 99 or less. 95 times 97, you say, what is the answer to that problem? First you find out how far 97 is from 100, that's 3. Then you find out how far 95 is from 100, that's 5. That's the first step. Second step in finding out the answer to 95 times 97 is we found out how far they're from 100, 3 and 5. So we multiply the 5 times the 3 and we get 15. That's in the second step. In the third step we subtract, we cross subtract. We're going to subtract the 3 from the 95, 3 from 95, and we get 2. Then we subtract 5 from the 97 and we get 2. That gives us 92, mind you, excuse me. Step 4, we bring down the 92. 92, 5 times 3 is 15. The answer is 9,215. 95 times 97 is 9,215. That's how you do complementary multiplication for numbers of 99 or less. Now we're getting to numbers that are 100 or more. Okay. For 106 times 102, what is the answer to that? 106 times 102. We multiply the 6 times the 2 and we get 12. That's the first step. In the second step, we add the 6 and 2. We add the 6 and 2 and we get 8. We bring down the 12. 6 and 2 makes 8. In the third step, we bring down the 100. So we have the 100. We bring down the 1. The answer is 10,812. Let's go over complementary multiplication one more time for 100 or more. First step. We multiply the 6 times the 2. We have 12. Second step. We add the 6 and 2. We get 8. So that's 8 and 12. 812. Then we bring down the 100. So now we have 10,812 as the answer to 106 times 102. That's complementary multiplication. Okay. Complementary multiplication. We're going to do this some more. Complementary multiplication. What did we do? We have step 1, we have step 2, we have step 3. How far from 100 is 94? 6. How far is 92 from 100? 8. Then in step 2, we multiply. 8 times 6 is 48. Step 3, we cross subtract. 8 from 4 and 6 from 2. 8 from 4 is 86. 6 from 2 is 86. We bring down the 86. Remember we did 8 times 6 and we got 48. The answer is 8,648. We do it again. 94 times 90, 92 times 94. How far is 94 from 106? How far is 92 from 108? 8 times 6 is 48. Then we cross subtract. 6 from 92. 8 from 94. 8 from 94 is 86. 6 from 92 is 86. We bring down 86. 8 times 6 is 48. The answer is 6,848 for the problem 92 times 94. The problem is 93 times 96. How far is 96 from 100? 4. How far is 93 from 107? 7 times 4, we multiply those numbers. 7 times 4 is 88. Then, the third step again, we cross subtract. 4 from 93 and 7 from 96. 7 from 96 is 89. 4 from 93 is 89. We bring down the 89. 7 times 4 was 28. The answer is 8,928. Complementary multiplication, 93 times 98. How far is 88 from 100? 12. How far is 93 from 107? 7 times 12 is 84. Next, in the third step, we cross subtract. 7 from 93 and 8, 12 from 88. 12 from 88 is, do you have it? Do you see it? I hope you're following all of this. Now look at this. What are we going to do here? We're going to do 7 times 12, which is 84. We were supposed to cross subtract, remember? I told you to follow it. I asked you to follow me as I went along so you can see what's going on. Did you follow this at all? Were you following the steps? What is 12 from 88? If you were following, you would have gotten it correct. 81, 86. 12 from 88. 2 from 8 is what? 6. 7. 1 from 8 is what? 7. Follow it. Okay, we're going to do one more. I'm leaving it up to you to follow me now. 94 times 84. What is the difference between, what do you have to add to 94 to get 100? 6. What do you have to add to 84 to get 100? 16. 6, we're in the second step now. 6 times 16 is 96. Now we cross subtract, remember? 16 from 94. 6 from 84. 6 from 84 is 78. 16 from 94 is 78. 78. And remember we had 6 times 16 is 96. 78, 16. The answer to 94 times 12 is 7,896. I asked you to follow me. That's why you weren't getting this one correct, because you weren't following me. Alright. Now we're going to go down to complementary multiplication for numbers at 100 or more. We want to find out how much is 104 times 105. First, in this step for numbers more than 100, we simply take the 5 and the 4 and multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. Then we add, because we have numbers more than 100. 4 and 5 is 9. That gives us 920. Then we bring down the 100. So the answer to this is 10,920. Let's do another complementary multiplication for a number over 100. 107 times 110. What do? We multiply this 10 and this 7. 7 times 10 is 70. Then we go over and we add this 10 and this 7, which gives us 17. Remember, we have the 70 from the 7 times 10. So we have 17 and 70. Then we bring down the 100. So we have 11770 for 107 times 110. Let's do 130 times 122. 30 and 22. Multiply 30 times 22, and we get 660. Then we add the 22 and 30 and get 52, and bring down the 660, which gives us 5,086. Then we bring down the 1, which gives us 158 and 60. So the answer is 15,860. That's complementary multiplication. They're both types for you before I give you some problems. These are the problems. You can copy them down. These are the ones I want you to work using complementary multiplication. We're going to use the short steps, the easy way, the African way. We're not going to go the long way. It's Just copy them down and work them on your own. Now we're going to do a different type of operation. We're still going to use the quick and easy steps, mind you, but now we're going to do 3-digit multiplication. That's right, you're going to do 3-digit multiplication the easy way. How do we do that? We have steps that we use. Vertical multiplication, cross multiplication, and vertical multiplication. The way I'm holding this pencil is vertical. When I hold it this way, it's horizontal. This is vertical multiplication, this is cross multiplication, this is cross multiplication and vertical multiplication. This is cross multiplication, this is vertical multiplication. First step is vertical multiplication and multiplying 3 digits. We're multiplying 321 times 123. 1 times 3 is 3, so we bring that down. Now second step, remember, is cross multiplication. 1 times 2 and 2 times 3. 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 and 2 is 8. So we bring down now 8. Now we're going to do cross multiplication and vertical multiplication. We're multiplying the extreme numbers now. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 and 3 is 10, because 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 and 3 is 10, because we add them. Then we have 2 times 4. So we have 10 and 4, which is 14. We carry the 1, that's why I put the 1 right there. Now the third step is cross multiplication. We multiply 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 2 is 6, 2 and 6 is what? 8, plus the 1 we carried, which made 9. Our last step is vertical multiplication. 3 times 1 is 3. There's the answer. The answer to 321 times 123 is 39,483. We cross multiply. We use the fast steps here. We use vertical multiplication, cross multiplication, vertical and cross multiplication, vertical multiplication. We got the answer. Whip out the calculator. Let's do it again. Vertical multiplication, 1 times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Cross multiplication, 1 times 2, 2 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 and 6 is 8. Now we're going to use vertical multiplication and cross multiplication. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. And then we add all of them together and got 14, except we carry the 1 here. Here's the 1 we carried right there. Next, we go to cross multiplication. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. We add that together and get 8, plus the 1 we carried, which makes 9. Our answer is 1 times 3, which is the last step, which gives us 3, and that gives us our complete answer. 39,483. You don't need your calculator. Let's do one more. In fact, let's do 2 more, because I don't want anyone to get lost in this 3-digit multiplication. Vertical multiplication. 1, we're going to multiply 241 times 333. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Now we're going to cross multiply. 33. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Now we're going to cross multiply. 1 times 3 and 1 times 3 is 3. Now we're going to do 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. We add them together. 3 and 12 is 15. Except we got to carry that 1. Remember that. Now we're going to do cross multiplication and vertical multiplication. This is our third step. So we're doing 2 times 3, which is 6, and we're doing 3 times 1, which is 3, vertical. 3 times 4 is 12. We add all of them together and get 21, plus the 1 that we carried, which makes 22. That's why we put our 2 here. We're going to carry that 2. We're carrying the 2. Watch us do it now. Here we go. Our fourth step is cross multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. We add them together and get 18, plus the 2 that we carry, which makes 20. We're carrying 2. That's why we put the 2 right there. We're carrying that 2. Our last step is vertical multiplication, which is 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus that 2 over here that we carried, which makes 8. Our answer is 80,253. Vertical multiplication, cross multiplication and vertical multiplication, cross multiplication, vertical multiplication. We're going to do one more together, then I'm going to let you do a few on your own. Step 1, vertical multiplication. 0 times 6 is 0, so we put the 0 there. Cross multiplication. 0 times 2 is 0. 1 times 6 is 6. We add them together, we get 6. We put our 6 there. Now we're in our third step, which is cross multiplication and vertical multiplication. So we have 5 times 6 is 30. 4 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. We add it together, we get 32. And we carry the 3. See, we're going to carry this 3. Now we're into the fourth step, which is cross multiplication. 2 times 5 is 10. 4 times 1 is 4. We add it together, we get 14. Plus the 1 that we carried, remember? Which makes 17. So we carry that 1 right there. Our last step is vertical multiplication. 4 times 5 is 20. Plus the 1 that we carried, which makes 21. So the answer to 510 times 420 is 217,000 plus 217,260. That's 3-digit multiplication. Take your time, you'll get it. It's no rush. Look at the steps. You may want to copy them down for yourself. You may want to copy them this way, showing your first step is vertical, cross multiply plus vertical, cross multiply, vertical. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And follow the steps. If you follow the steps, you won't get lost. Now let's do 3-digit multiplication. We're going to do 3-digit multiplication. The first step is vertical. Second step is bring down the 2 digits. The third step is vertical. Simple, eh? Let's try it. We're going to multiply 305 times 305. First step is vertical. 5 times 5 is 25. The second step, we bring down the 2 digits, which is 30. The third step is vertical. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. The answer to 305 times 305 is 93,025. Let's do another problem. 705 times 705. Vertical multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. Step 2. We bring down these 2 digits. That's 70. Step 3. We multiply 7 times 7, which is 49. The answer to 705 times 705 is 497,025. Let's do one more. 405 times 405. vertical. 5 times 5 is 25. Second step, bring down these two digits, 40. Third step, vertical. 4 times 4 is 16. We bring down to 16. The answer to 405 times 405 is 164,025. One more problem of three-digit multiplication. 905 times 905. First step, vertical. 5 times 5 is 25. Second step, bring down these two digits, 90. Third step, vertical multiply. 9 times 9 is 81. We bring down to 81. The answer to 905 times 905 is 819,025. I think you're getting the swing of it. I really do. Let's try one more just for fun before I give you a whole lot of problems to do, okay? We're going to do 4-digit multiplication. Not 3, not 2, but 4-digit multiplication. We have these steps to go through now. We have vertical, cross multiply, cross multiply and vertical, double cross multiply, cross multiply and vertical, cross multiply and vertical. As you can see in 4-digit multiplication, what we have is the double cross. Okay, our first step, vertical multiplication. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. Second step, cross multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 4 is 4. Add them together, you get 11, and carry the 1. We're in step 3 now. We're going to cross multiply and vertical. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 3 is 6. We add them together, we get 20, plus that 1 that we carried. Remember, we carried the 1 from the step here, which gives us 21. We write the 21, but we're going to carry the 2. Now we're going to double cross. We're going to multiply 1 times 1, which is 1. 4 times 4, which is 16. The double cross now. We're in the second cross now. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. We're going to add all that together and get 30. Plus the 2 that we carried, remember? And we add that 2 to the 30 and get 32. 32, but we're going to carry the 3. We're in the fifth step, which is cross multiply and vertical. So we have 2 times 1, which is 2, 4 times 3, which is 12, and 3 times 2, which is 6. We add them together and get 20, and we add the 3 that we carried and got 23. 23, except we're carrying the 2. Now we're in the sixth step. We cross multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8. And the 1, and the, which is 8, excuse me, 8 and 3 is 11. And the 2 that we carried, remember we carried 2 from step 5, which gives us 13. We write 13, but we're going to carry the 1. Our last step is vertical. 1 times 4 is 4. And the 1 that we carried makes 5. So the answer to our problem is this. Move it up some so you can see it. Answer to our problem is 5,332,114. That's in 4-digit multiplication. Let's go over it again. First step, vertical multiplication. Second step, cross multiply. Third step, cross multiply and vertical multiplication. Fourth step, double cross. Fifth step, vertical multiplication and cross multiplication. Sixth step, cross multiplication. Seventh step, vertical multiplication. Just take your time and follow the steps. If you follow the steps, you won't get lost. Step 1, vertical. Step 2, cross multiply. Step 3, cross multiply and vertical multiply. Step 4, double cross. Step 5, cross multiply and vertical. Step 6, cross multiply. And step 7, vertical. Follow the steps. Remember to carry your digits and you won't get lost and you won't get the wrong answer. It's very simple. You can use your computer as a brain in this process. That's 4-digit multiplication. You may want to copy down this example so you can refer back to it when you have the problems to work. If you have to, put your VCR on pause and copy down any example you need. Let's do multiplication not from the right to the left, but let's do multiplication from the left to the right. I know you're used to doing it this way, but we're going to multiply 407. Mind you, we're just going to do this way so you can get it. We're going to multiply 471 times 532. But we're not going to go from the right to the left. We're going to go from the left to the right. The first thing we're going to do is multiply 400 times 500, because this number here is 530 and 2. This is 470 and 1. So we're multiplying the 500 and the 400. So the quick step for that is to multiply 4 times 5, which gives you 20, and then add 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. 400 times 500. The easy way to do that is multiply 4 times 5, get 20, and then add 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 zeros. Next we're going to multiply 70. Remember we had the number 470 and 1. We already multiplied the 400. Now we're going to multiply 70 times 500. How do we do that? We multiply 7 times 35. 7 times 5, which gives you 35. And add how many zeros? 1, 2, 3. 7 times 5 is 35. Add 1, 2, 3. 3 zeros. So now we have 200,000 and we're adding 35,000 to it. And we have 235,000. Then we're going to multiply 30. Of the 530, we multiply 30 times 400. 30 times 400 is 30 times 400 is 12,000. Then we add the 12,000 to the 235,000. And we get 247,000. Now we're going to multiply the 1 of the 471. We're going to multiply this 1 times the 500. We're just working with the 100 right now. 1 times 500 is 500, so we add that to the 247,000, which gives us 247,500. Now, of the 532, we're going to multiply 2 times 400. 2 times 400 gives you 800. So we add the 800 to the 247,500 and get 248,300. Then we multiply 1 times 30. 1 times 30. And we get 30, and we add that to the 248,330. Now we multiply 2 times 70. This 2 times the 70 right in there. 2 times 70. Gives us 140. That gives us 248,000 plus the 140 added to the 330 gives us 248,470. Then we multiply 7 times 3, which gives us 21, and add how many zeros? 1, 2. And we add that to 248,470, and we get 250,570. Then we multiply 1 times 2, and we get 2, and we add that to our figure, and we get 250,572. This is how you multiply going from left to right instead of right to left. You can copy this example, put your VCR on pause. And we'll go to the next example. We do have problems to work now. Let's try the law of distribution. Distribution. Now, we're going to multiply 23 times 89. How much is 23 times 89? We're going to distribute the 23. 23, or as you would say in English, 23. 20 and 3. 20 and 3. 20 times 89 and 3 times 89. 20 times 89 is 1,780. 3 times 89 is 267. So all we do is add the 1,780 to 267, and we get 2,407. We're using the distributive law. We're distributing the 23. The problem was 23 times 89. We're going to distribute this 23. We're going to break it up and make it smaller so we can see it, so we can do it easier. So we break the 23 up to 20 and 3. And then we distribute a 20 there, and we distribute a 3 there. So we multiply 20 times 89 and 3 times 89, and add those two together. 20 times 89, 3 times 89, add them together, and we got 2,047. Just you distributing the number. Let's try 32 times 75. What is 32 times 75? We distribute this 32. As you know, there's 30 and 2. So we're going to use 30 times 75 and 2 times 75. And we're going to add them both together. And that's how we got 2,400. 52 times 61. Let's distribute the 52, which is 50 and 2. We distribute the 50 to the 61, 50 times 61 and 2 times 61. We add them together, we get 3,072. If you have 50 to multiply, you multiply by 5 and then add the 0. That's the easy way to do it. We don't have to multiply the zeros, we just add them in. If you had 500, you would multiply 5 and add the zeros. 50, you multiply 5 times 61, add 1 0. 500 times 61, you multiply 5 times 61 and add the zeros. Add the 2 zeros. That's the quick way to do it. 5 times 61 is this. 5 times 61 is that. But we have to add the zeros. For 50 we add 1 0. For 500 we add 2 zeros. So you can pause and copy this if you like, but I think you can get it. We're just distributing the number, breaking it into small parts so we can do it, and do it quickly. And we do this in our mind. We don't use paper. All this is done in your head with practice. Practice, practice, practice. So here are the multiplication problems that I promised you for you to try. Remember the ways I showed you. I showed you to distribute the numbers. I showed you how to cross multiply, vertical multiply, cross multiply. Remember I showed you that. I showed you how to distribute the numbers. Remember that. Remember I showed you about numbers less than 90, less than 100. What do you have to add for numbers less than 100? So you do that. Use that process. For numbers less than 100, use distribution, use cross multiplication and vertical multiplication. Break the problem up smaller so you can handle it. You may want to put it on pause and copy these problems and work them out. You can do them on paper, but if you have to stop and start doing it in your head. The purpose of using the easier methods is so you can use your brain as your calculator, and not the computer, not the calculator machine, and not a pencil and paper. We're using our brains now. Cross multiplying, distribution, numbers less than 100, subtract and multiply. Go back to your notes. Now then, for addition, we're going to do some addition the quick and easy way, okay? Look at this. Now we're going to add from your left to your right. Don't have to always add from your right to your left. You add the hundreds column, you add the tens column, you add the ones column, just as we did before when we multiply. So if you have numbers like 126 added to 231 plus 114 plus 235. How do we do that? We go back and we add the hundreds columns. We got 100, 200, 100, 300. We add all of them together, we have 600. Then we go back and add the tens columns. We have 90, so that gives us 690 because we add the hundreds columns to the tens column. That leaves one column left. This column right here. That's the single digit column. So we add all the single digits, the 17 to the 690, and we get 707 as the answer. We went from left to right. 143 plus 162 plus 154 plus 277. We add the hundreds column, we get 500. We add the tens columns. We add the tens columns, that's 220. 220 plus 500. We add them both together, the 100 column and the tens column. We get 720. Then we add the single digit column. 3, 2, 4, 7 gets 16. We add the 16s to the sum of the tens columns and 100 columns, and we get 736 as our answer. That's addition from left to right. You may want to put it on pause and copy it. African people read from left to right and right from left, and we read circularly. That's what we call Kemetic writing, Metunetsha. And we add it the same way, left to right, circular, right to left. Remember, in this addition, we start with the 100 columns, the tens column, and single digit column. Start with the 100 column, the tens column, and single digit column, and do it in your head. You may want to put the VCR on pause and copy the problems, or you may want to do them all in your head without copying them down first. We're doing it from left to right. Now then, we're going to cube. We're going to do cubes now. Okay? Let's look at this. Cube. That's a number times a number. 2 times 2 times 2 is called a cube. 2 times 2 is called a square. 2 times 2, what is the square of 2? That's 2 times 2. What is the cube of 2? That's 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 cubed. 1 cube is 1. 2 cube is 8. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 cube is 27. 3 times 3 times 3. 4 cube is 64. That's 4 times 4 times 4. 5 cube is 125. That's 5 times 5 times 5. 6 cube is 216. That's 6 times 6 times 6. 7 cube is 343. That's 7 times 7 times 7. 8 cube is 512. That's 8 times 8 times 8. 9 cube is 729. That's 9 times 9 times 9. What is the cube of 164,612? That's the question. What is the cube of 65,000, 612? you split the number in half at the comma. Right where the comma is, at 165,612, you split it in half. That's what you do. And the first step is what cube number ends in 2? That's what we want to know. What cube number ends in 2? Of the 612, you got to look up here at your cubes and find out which one of these numbers ends in 2. Is it 5 cubed, 6 cubed, 7 cubed, or 8 cubed? It's 8 cubed. It ends in 2. So we know right away from this number, 612, ending in 2, that 8 is part of our answer. 8 goes here. The second step is what whole number is close to 165, which is this number here. Which one of these numbers is close to 165? Is it 216 or is it 125? Between what whole numbers does this 165 fit? So you say it's between 216 and 125. This 165 fits. Use the smallest number. So you wouldn't pick the 216, you pick the lowest number, which would be 125. That gives you 5. So the cube root of the number 165,612, remember we looked for the 2 and found out that cube of 8 ends in 2. So that gave us our first number, 8. Then we looked up here for a number, for 2 numbers where this 165 could fit, and we said it could fit between 216 and 165, and we picked the smallest number and we got 5. So the cube root of 165,612 is 58. The answer is 58. That's how we do cube roots. That's the cube. We have the 2 major steps, remember? We split the number in half at the comma. Then we look for a number that ended in the same digit. That ended in the same digit. We found out it was 8. Then for the second part of the question, the 165, we looked for a number where this 165 could fit in between. We found out it could fit in between the 5 cube and 6 cube, but we picked the smallest number always, and we got 5 cube. And that's how we got 5. The answer, they want to know the cube root of this number is 58. Okay? We're moving right along. Now, I'm going to give you some problems to do. I'm going to make it easy for you, though. I'm putting the cube root right on the same page, so you don't have to flip back and forth. You may want to put your VCR on pause, so you can copy some of these problems down. And you know how to do it. I'll just do this bottom one with you. What number ends in 8? See? 648 you're looking at. Remember, you're supposed to divide it up at the comma. Remember that. Remember, divide at the comma, just as I told you. Look for what ends in 5. Remember, 5, see? Then you find out where this 421 fits in between. You see it fits right in between here. Then you pick the 7. You always pick the lowest, so the answer is 75. See? You're always looking. You'll get it, just practice. Just practice. You'll get it. Find the cube roots. Okay. Now, I want to give you a little problem to solve here. Here's our problem. I'm going to do this. We have a calendar, right? Here's the formula you need. You need to put year, just as you see it here. We have year. You put a line under it. Then you put year plus 4 plus day plus SV, and put a long line and put that over 7. That's what we call a formula. Let's go through each variable. A variable is something that can change, that varies, it can change, okay? This is year. This variable requires the number year, not the whole number, which is in this case is 63. In this case is 63, not 1963. So we don't want the whole number, we just want the 63. Year. So we have 63. Year and 4. This variable requires the year from above divided by 4. So in this example, it would be 63 divided by 4. Remember to drop off the decimal. Do not round up the number. The reason for this step is to calculate the number of leap years. We've done year, right? Now we're going to do day. This is day. This variable requires the actual day of the month that you are working with. In this case, it would be 28, December the 28th. That's a variable. SV is another variable. SV, this variable stands for significant value and will be used instead of the number of the month in question. Below are significant values for each month. Significant value for January is 0. Significant value for February is 3. Significant value for March is 3. Significant value for April is 6. These are the significant values. So in this example of December the 28th, 1963, the significant value of December will be 5. December is 5. That's a significant value. So now we have what we need. Because all I'm going to do by using this formula is to tell you what day of the week you were born on. That's the purpose of this. The 7 under the series of numbers means we will be dividing the top number by the bottom number. The reason we use 7 is that it is the number of days in a week. So first we have to figure out what 63 divided by 4 is. The answer is 15.3. But remember, we dropped the decimal, so we have 15 leap years. So we now have this equation to work with. 63 plus 15 plus 28 plus 5, add together, divide by 7. So what's 63 plus 15 plus 28 plus 5? That's right, 111. Now we have to divide by 7, but here's an easy way. Figure out how many 7s will go into 111. Then see how much of a remainder you have left. In this case, there are 15 7s in 111. So you have 6 left. Now translate that to a day of the week, like this. Day of the week, 6 is Saturday. December 28, 1963 was a Saturday. This is how you calculate days of the week. If someone was born in 1970, you put 70 here, 70 there. Because we're going to figure out what day of the week they were born. We put 70 here, and we have 4. Remember? And what day they will say they were born the 28th of December 1970. So we put 28 there. Then we get the significant value. The significant value is here in December, so that's 5. So we have everything we need. We have the 70, the 4. They were born on the 28th. The significant value is 5. We add all those together, remember, and divide. And therefore, we can calculate what day of the week they were born on. These are just little formulas that we become familiar with. So suppose I told you to pick a number. Pick any number. Pick any number. Pick any 1 or 2 digit number. Just make sure it isn't 0. You pick a number, any number. Now multiply it by 99. Add up the digits in your answer. You should get 18 as your answer each time. Example, I told you to pick a number, any number. 89 times 99 is 8,811. Let's go back. 8, 8, 1, 1 is 18. You pick any number, multiply it by 99, and it will add up to 18. Now, we find the secret number. The number is less than 100. The number is more than 8 times 7. The number is even. The number is less than 6 times 10. What is the number? What is not necessary? Here's a hard one. The sum of the digits add up to 6. The number is less than 5 times 11. The number does not have a 3 in it. The number is even. The number is not divisible by 4. The number does not have a 4 in it. The number is more than 3 times 12. What is the number? What is not necessary? These are little games you can play. Games to keep your math skills sharp. That's what we were doing. Now I'll show you one more game to keep your math skills sharp. 3-digit reversal. Pick any 3-digit number. Do not use the same number twice. Then reverse the number, placing the larger of the 2 numbers on top. And subtract. And the answer will always have a 9 in the middle. And the other 2 numbers will always add up to 9. For example, your number is 321. Correct? 321. Reverse the number and subtract it. You get 198. Notice that 9 is in the middle. And the other 2 numbers, 1 and 8, equal 9. Try these. 741. Reverse the number. 147. Subtract it. 9 is in the middle. 5 and 4 is 9. 532. Reverse it. You will always have a 9 in the middle, and the other 2 digits will always equal 9. Talking calculators. We all know calculators can't talk, but try these number tricks on your friends and they will be convinced that calculators talk to you. Hand a friend a calculator. Just give them your calculator. Tell the friend to think of a date like his or her birthday. Punch in the 3 or 4-digit number into the calculator. For example, February the 14th will be punched in as the 2nd month, 2/14. December 4th will be the 12th month, 12/04. Next, have your friend use the calculator to multiply the number times 2. Add 7. Multiply the number by 50. Add in his or her age. Now, the magic begins. Take the calculator back, subtract 350 from the number on the screen. The first 3 or 4 digits of the new number is the date your friend is thinking of. The last 1 or 2 digits are your friend's age. Every time. Remember, I may have taken it off too quick. I was showing you games to keep your math skills sharp. You can use these games if you like, or you can just practice the skills that we went over. Remember that mathematics comes from Africa. It originated in Africa. This is one of the early mathematicians, Imhotep. Mathematics is something that was created by us Africans. Calculus, trigonometry, geometry, rhythm with meta, which we call arithmetic, the study of rhythms, arithmetic. Without the rhythm, you call it arithmetic, and you don't have the drum. These are all African sciences. We are the masters of math. We are the inventors of math. And I was just going over some of the earlier ways, earlier methods that we used in mathematics. We not only multiply from the right to the left, but we also multiply from the left to the right. We can start by adding the 100s columns or multiplying the 100 columns. We can use the crossing rhythms, which we call cross multiplying, vertical multiplying. They all have rhythms. They all are equal to ways in which we calculate things. So remember, you can do the math. Just use these easy steps. Thank you.